Hello, 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 and welcome to the Slamcast. I'm your host, Greg. Let's get it started. Um, Hope you're all having a nice day today, whatever day this is, as per usual. I'm kind of just still been awake for a while, but on the weekend you're in those kind of daisy kind of slumps, I guess. Just kind of hanging out, just relaxing, that kind of stuff. So I hope you guys are feeling the same way too, assuming it's the weekend for you as well and you're at home or wherever, just hanging out. Even if you're at work or whatever, listening to this, I hope you're having a nice chill work day. But yeah, few things that we're going to go over today. First things first, I feel like I need to get this out of the way first and foremost. For all you SoundCloud listeners, I am moving from that platform. I found out earlier this week that SoundCloud has a upload limit, as ridiculous as that sounds. So yeah, I've been having a lot of technical difficulties this week. Gonna get into that. Gonna talk about the rest of those, but the main one, the one that pissed me off the most, is the fact that SoundCloud has a upload limit of all things. And I get that from what I've been hearing, for fiscal year, I'm assuming fiscal year, I don't know much about business, folks, but 2013, 2014, SoundCloud has been losing quite a lot of money from what I've been reading, somewhere in the millions. So I understand that they want to limit stuff off so that people have to resort to their paid subscriptions services that they have instead of their free ones so that they can make a buck or two, which I can understand. However, an upload limit is something I don't think is the best thing to have, at least the one that they've implemented. I actually have it right here, so I can talk about it talk about the exact numbers. So with the free SoundCloud, for those of you who have used SoundCloud, you know what that's like. Just simple, just SoundCloud, whatever. You can listen to stuff, you can upload stuff. However, turns out you have a 3 hour, that's right, 3 hour, 1, 2, 3 hours of upload time. So for somebody in my situation, that is not optimal at all. So I looked into it. So in terms of strictly upload time for these paid subscriptions, strictly upload time, or they have a few other features, and I feel like they could probably get some better features up here as well, aside from just the ones that they've mentioned here. But if we're talking strictly upload features, for $6 a month or $55 a year, you get double your upload time. So instead of 3 hours of upload time, you get 6. Isn't that quite the deal, folks? Isn't that amazing? That is absolutely amazing. I've always wanted 6 hours of upload time as opposed to 3. However, if you up that to $16 a month, which comes to $145 a year, that finally allows you to have unlimited upload time. So paying almost $150 a year allows you to have unlimited upload time to a service which is mainly known for your ability to easily upload whatever you want. Apparently not, though. If it's over 3 hours, or if it's a collection of things that equal to over 3 hours, you're shit out of luck. And the main reason I'm so pissed off about this is the way that they implement it. All right, so I get an email. Hold on a second. So I get an email telling me that I've gone over my upload limit, which surprised me at first because I had no idea that SoundCloud had an upload limit to begin with. Um, so I checked that out. They say you've gone over your upload limit, so we've hidden your oldest upload. So if you check my SoundCloud right now, well, it's going to be a few different things, but currently of this recording, if you were to check my SoundCloud, my first podcast titled, I can't remember what I titled it, but whatever, Slamcast #1 is gone in its entirety. So it's hidden in quotations. It's hidden. But here's the problem. All right, if it was implemented so if I upload something and my total time goes over 3 hours, everything, all my oldest recordings or all my oldest uploads that like helped exceed go over 3 hours. I hope this is making sense. All those ones like just keep slowly or just hide in quotations hide all the uploads that are um, uh, going over the limit. So like I'm currently over the limit right now by like 15 minutes or something, but my second upload's still up. So if they took out my first and my second podcast, I'd be totally fine with that. And then let's say I upload this one, so then they'd probably have to take out my third and fourth, or maybe just my third podcast as well. And like as I keep uploading, they just keep getting rid of more um, podcasts as I'm going over the limit. I'd totally be okay with that. They hide it because I still have the stats, I still have the number of views, I still have the number of likes, I still have the comments, but new people who come to my podcast channel wouldn't be able to access those old ones. And I would honestly be fine with that. I would be totally fine with that because I added a link because I thought this would help because I thought that's how it worked. I added a link to my YouTube channel where all of my podcasts are there, and YouTube doesn't have an upload limit. So, I'd be totally fine with that because then I could just refer people to my YouTube channel if they want to listen to my older stuff. However, this isn't how it works. I can't just keep uploading podcasts and more of my older podcasts will just get hidden. What happens is I have to delete my older podcasts. So I still have to delete my hidden podcast, episode 1. I still have to delete Slamcast #1, even though it's hidden. And to upload another podcast, say that this one we're recording right now is half an hour. I don't know how long it is right now. Right now it's at 8 minutes, but I'm assuming it'll be longer than that. But let's say I just reach the half hour mark with this recording. If I were to want to upload this, I would probably have to delete Slamcast 1 and Slamcast 2 in their entirety. So all the views I got on those, all the likes and comments, which aren't much, in all honesty, that's the size point. I still like to see the stats. I still like to see how many views I got, because for the most part, I upload it. I make a status update on Facebook. It gets however many views it gets, and then that's it. But I'd still like to see those in my profile, even if I'm the only one who can see them, just to see if there's any growth, just visually seeing through the stats or just anything, just seeing, hey, this is one of my really old podcasts, but I still got the most views on it ever. So, I'd still like for that to be around, but I don't want it taking up my upload time. You know what I mean? So essentially what it would boil down to is me having to delete old podcasts and then uploading them, uploading them. No, let me rephrase that. I'd have to delete old podcasts so that I would be able to upload newer podcasts. And what it would probably boil down to, at least for this beginning portion right now, is for every new podcast I'd have to upload, I'd probably have to delete 2 old podcasts. to a point where I'd have like 3 or 4 podcasts max on my channel, and then I get however many views, but that would be pointless to me because I'd end up just deleting them anyways. So it's just such a major step for me is my issue, and the fact that all the data just goes out the window. At least if SoundCloud were to hide everything as I keep uploading it, I'd be totally okay with that. Because I'd still get the data, the simple data of just how many views and likes and comments I got on single ones, and they would still technically be there. Data would be there, the podcast would be there, they would stay up for like about a month's time, and then they would get quote unquote hidden, and I'd be okay with that. But the fact that I essentially just have to undo what I've uploaded so that I can upload something else that it'll get undone as well. I don't know. This is just how I'm seeing it. Just explaining it now, I feel like people could argue with me being like, how is that different from it being hidden? But I just feel like the fact that it's still there and the data's still there and everything about it's still there, it's just people still can't access it anymore. I'm kind of okay with that. But it's the fact that I manually have to delete them. Even if there was an option to have SoundCloud delete it instead of hiding it, maybe I'd consider that. Maybe. But it's just so frustrating and annoying. And then to basically say, hey, we need money, so pay us $150 a year so you can have unlimited. Like, and that's the thing too. 3 hours of upload time, that's kind of ridiculous. Especially with how many podcasts and live trap remix of 2016, 2 hours of bumping grooves and slamming drops. It's probably the best voice I've ever done forever. But yeah, you know what I mean with SoundCloud? You got podcasts that are normally like an hour and a half long. If this podcast didn't consist of just me, I'm sure it would be longer for sure. And you have all these like remixes and stuff that I'm sure are on SoundCloud. So it's like, do these people pay this much, or do they just delete older stuff? Like I don't get that. Like I get that SoundCloud's kind of in the shitter right now because they need money. But in all honesty, do they put ads? I don't even think they put ads on here. I don't see why they don't just put ads before or after playing. Somebody verify that for me because I have ad block on, so that might be why. But like I know Spotify has ads in between if you're not paying the premium, and then but that's the thing here, even on the list. Don't go back on me. There we go. So let me just read you off the features. Also, do I sound better now, or like because I'm close to the microphone now, but I'm afraid I'm gonna keep spiking all your audio, folks. So I've been sitting back for this recording. Still kind of getting used to this new microphone. Anyway, so here's the list for Pro. So this was the $6 a month, $55 a year subscription. So double your upload time, so 6 hours. So if it was like, if I had like 24 hours, of upload time, that'd be so much better. And then, I don't know, you go pro and you get like 48 hours worth of recording and then unlimited. Like, that would be pretty decent because, like, so, like, roughly 6 of my recordings is just over 3 hours. So then, I get about 8 times. Is that right? I get about 8. I gotta punch this into the calculator because I don't want to seem like a dumbass, even though I'm punching it into a calculator. So. Yeah, I get just over or just under about 8 times worth. So, what is that? 6 times 8 then? Oh, that's too big. Is that 48? Phone. Yeah. So I'd get just under, so roughly like 45 podcasts I would get in. And by the time I would hit that limit, I would be like, all right, cool. And I'd probably be fine with deleting podcasts at that point. I'd probably just delete like 10 of my podcasts and then just do like a 10 podcast sweep like every few weeks. But like, yeah, no, this is ridiculous. So basically, what I'm trying to get at here is I'm going to be changing my platform for uploading on Sundays. I think I'm going to go to Spreaker, which is like a podcast strictly uploading service. Seems like they don't have a limit for uploading. That might change, but I'm pretty content on doing that. My main issue is I wanted somewhere where I could put up music as well. But what I think I'm going to do, because I haven't really made anything musically yet, and I don't know how far that'll go, but if I do, I'll probably just put it on something like Bandcamp. Bandcamp seems like a pretty solid place to put up music. So I'll just have two separate platforms for that instead of trying to, because that was the great thing about SoundCloud is you could upload podcasts and music in the same place. It was kind of known for both, so it wasn't really extremely out there of an idea. But anyways, let me get back to this list that you get for the Pro, $6 a month, $55 a year subscription for SoundCloud. So double your upload time, so 6 hours. Wow, 6 hours. So that's 12 podcasts for me, which is still kind of shit. Additional stats, including plays by country. Ooh, stats. That's interesting. Pin tracks and playlists to the top of your profile with Spotlight. Also, kind of, why would you pay $6 for the stats thing? I could kind of see, kind of, but $6 a month for that. There's a few other subscription fees for roughly the same amount of price that you could pay for, and you get a lot more bang for your buck. That's for sure. But then again, these kinds of stats aren't what I'm looking for small time podcast DLEO. I just want a place to upload stuff, so none of this appeals to me. Pro Unlimited, upload without limits. So this is the $16 a month, $145 a year is the list for Pro Unlimited. So of course unlimited upload time, and that's like unlimited upload time. That's amazing, but that should be free, honestly, in my opinion. See which cities your listeners are in. Again, I have a general idea right now on this small time thing. I don't expect it to be so big that I want to see exactly what city all my listeners are from. See the web pages and apps your tracks are played from. Again, another data thing I don't care that much about. But that's the thing that interests me is neither of these lists include ad-free, like listen to music for free or anything. Like, where's that? Like, that should be the $5 a month subscription or something. Just put ads in between when you're listening to somebody's uploads. 30-second ad about whatever. Like Spotify does it. Every 5 or 6 songs, you get some shitty ad for like 30 seconds, but you're like, whatever. It's fine. 8 tracks just prevents you from listening to the same playlist too many times, which is pretty annoying, but like I can understand why, because it's a whole legal thing. And I think they have ads now before you start a playlist. I wouldn't know because I use ad blocker because I'm the problem. Clearly. Not the fact that we have clearly broken ad systems on the internet, but I won't get into that. That's a whole different thing. But as you can see, folks, I'm pretty pissed about this. So if you listen to this on YouTube, or if you find out about my uploads through Facebook, this really doesn't affect you, but this is mainly just for the very few, but the noble SoundCloud listeners that I have. I just wanted you guys to know that I'm moving from SoundCloud, and I don't plan on coming back anytime soon. I'm moving to Spreaker. I'll always be on YouTube. So I don't even know if you can subscribe to Spreaker. I'm assuming you can, but YouTube's always a great option just to easily subscribe to or whatever. Because, yeah, I have a few followers on SoundCloud who I don't know personally. So the shout out to you few. Come on down. Change platform or don't. If you guys are like, oh, he's moving. It was nice knowing you. It's nice knowing you guys as well. But yeah, I just wanted to make that clear, and it kind of pissed me off a lot. So this is kind of me just opening up about it because it's shitty and it's dumb, and I really feel like SoundCloud could make a lot of better decisions when it comes to making money, because it seems like they're kind of in the shitter right now. So SoundCloud, I hope you make it out of that financial rut a-okay, unscathed. But I feel like there's better options for you on how to do that. All right, so let's move on to the next point of discussion. Holy shit, 20 minutes in. Woo. Oh no, this is gonna be a long one. Actually, I'm gonna skip all this other shit that I was gonna talk about. Because speaking of fans, I have to talk about my number one fan ever, forever, and he goes by the name. That wasn't meant for dramatic effect, but I'm gonna leave that in. That was meant, or that his name is Scotty. For those of you who don't know, Scotty is a pal of mine, and he actually was the first person ever. I wouldn't say the first person ever, but he made a very public post to me on ways I could improve the Slamcast, and also suggestions for what I should talk about this week. That's a first. I've never gotten a suggestion as to what I should talk about. At least I don't think I have. I feel like my buddies are going to kick the shit out of me if I was actually wrong about that. However, he made it very public, and he made it very fucking hilarious, if I do say so myself. So I am currently deeming Scotty I'm currently deeming Scotty, excuse me, just I am deeming him my number one fan for now. Scotty, it's I'm making number one fan like any sort of number one anything. You gotta uphold it, just FYI. But I'm sure you'll do fine. So I'm not gonna read everything he has to say, but first thing I want to get out of the way is he mentioned after his massive, ridiculous, hilarious, amazing post an idea that I should incorporate some sort of intro or outro or something to my podcast. And Scotty, I appreciate your input, and I've definitely considered that. The main issue with that is just the fact that I'm lazy. But I do plan on, within the next little bit of time, I do definitely plan on getting into that and getting something going there. So have no fear. That'll be done sooner or later. Just got to get off my lazy ass. But I appreciate that input, and I've definitely been thinking about it for sure. But another thing he brings up, he wants to do a podcast in a very special location. I'm going to Fort Lauderdale at the beginning of April for my sister's fiance's bachelor party, and he wants to do a recording there. And don't worry, Scotty, we will have a Fort Lauderdale on location recording. Believe you me, I will get it done. We will get it done. You'll be the guest. We'll have a lot of guests on. It'll be a whole extravaganza recording. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be amazing. And then, to top this all off, he even suggested something I should talk about this week. And he said, basic bitches culture. And he brought up a good point. It would, and I quote, it would appear to be it would appear to be a perfect compliment to the fuckboy set. I completely agree with that. So I'm going to get right into it right now. And I've definitely given it some thought. When you first sent out this post, at first I was like, do I even really have an opinion on basic bitches? But the more I thought about it, the more I realized, yes I do. And here's the thing about basic bitches is the epitome of a basic bitch is a very problematic one. If it weren't for basic bitches, we wouldn't have Uggs, we wouldn't have BuzzFeed, we wouldn't have a whole lot of dumb shit that I can personally live without. Um, Dumb Instagram photos. Uh, it's just a whole mess. It's a whole mess. Pinterest, honestly, Pinterest doesn't seem like that bad of a thing, but Pinterest and Etsy, that kind of stuff it can buzz off, and I really wouldn't care that much. But um, the one thing that's bugging me about all of this is that earlier in the week I was thinking about this because sometimes I like to run topics through my head just to make sure I have enough stuff to talk about so that I don't mention it for like 5 seconds and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm done talking about it. And I remember thinking like there was something positive about basic bitches culture, and I just can't even remember it. So maybe there wasn't anything. Maybe basic bitches just deserve to go be basic off a cliff, but not actually. I kid. And there's a positive in there somewhere. I just honestly can't remember right now. And I feel like a complete asshole because I wanted to kind of balance it out. Oh yeah, that's what it was. And it comes back to Scotty's magnificent quote saying, "It would appear to be a perfect complement to the fuckboy set." And here's the thing. Here's the thing, Scotty. Here's the thing, world. If it wasn't for basic bitches, we wouldn't have fuckboys. So, as much as I don't like things like Uggs and dumb Instagram photos, and this is coming from a man whose Instagram account mainly consists of food shots and selfies of me right after I've gotten a haircut. So that's the basic bitch of me. Is basically my Instagram account is the basic bitch of me, the tiny little part of me that's a basic bitch. Aside from all that dumb stuff, aside from your BuzzFeed, because let's be honest right now, basic bitches weren't a thing in today's culture, BuzzFeed would not be as well off as that website is right now. And that website runs off of basic bitches. I cannot tell a lie. And that in Starbucks. Starbucks profits would definitely not be as high as they are today if it wasn't for the basic bitches and their need for that Starbucks caffeine. But like I said, if it wasn't for basic bitches, we wouldn't have fuckboys. So I can't complain. It's the tried and true saying of women: can't live with them, can't live without them. Basic bitches can't be a fuckboy with them, can't be a fuckboy without them. I don't even know if that makes sense. Personally, I don't give a shit. So thank you, Scotty. Thank you very much. You're the man that this country, nay, this world, needs. And that's why I'm giving such a shout out to you, my number one fan. All right. I'm sure we'll be hearing from Scotty many times for the duration of the existence of this podcast. And personally, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. But let's see what else I can talk about. All right. So I thought I was going to run out of time, but I have a few minutes here. So yeah, the other technical issues that I've been having is that my PC case is currently broken, which makes me a sad little nerdy boy. Because it's broken in the sense that the power button doesn't work. So I have to leave this thing on 24/7. So I got in contact, because I've only had this PC case for about half a year. I got in contact with the manufacturers, and it turns out I either have two options. I either send them my case, and then I have to wait a few days, and then they send me back my case. So the guts of my computer are just out in the open for a few days, and I can't do anything. I can't go on the computer or anything with them. Or I send them some amount of money so that they can send me the case first, and then I can send them my broken case back, and then I fill out some forms or something, and I get reimbursed for however much money I gave them, which is shitty because, I mean, I kind of get why they do it, but it's just shitty because I filled it out first thinking either they'd send me a part or like a front panel or something that I could replace it with or something. but they're just like, yeah, here, hey, do it, and then deal without a PC for a few days. I can't do that. That's insane. It's insane, man. It's insane. You're out of your mind. You're out of your gosh dang darn mind. Can't deal with that. Ugh, madness. Yeah, and then so that's shitty. And then the fact that it was just more my fault. My solid state drive, for those of you who know that is, it's like a hard drive, but it's a lot faster. It's essentially a USB, but it's a hard drive. So it's like can't even don't even know how to explain this in layman terms. I hope that made enough sense though, because I'm not gonna bother. Because most of you who are listening to this probably know what a solid state drive is. So I've kind of filled that up with programs and shit. So now I'm gonna have to spend this weekend uninstalling and reinstalling stuff onto my normal hard drive, because the last thing I need right now is my solid state dying on me. Even though I've had it for, like my case, I've only had it for about half a year. But apparently solid states after like 2 years are supposed to die, which is a very scary thought, because the only thing solid states are really used for, mainly, and which is the main reason I use mine, is so you can put your operating system on it so that it boots up. Literally, when I boot up this computer, it takes like 10 seconds and I'm good. 15 seconds and I'm good to go. But it's a terrifying thought to think that once that solid state goes kaput, my computer isn't useless. I just have to get a hard drive, or I have to get an operating system somewhere on one of my hard drives to boot it back up properly so I can use it again like a normal computer. So I think along with that, I'm gonna put Windows 7 on one of my hard drives in case my solid state ever goes kaput, just decides to die on me. That's such a scary thought, though. Just your computer just, I guess it is for me, because I'm a nerdy loser geek man. But you know, your solid state or whatever, your computer just like just farting out on you, just won't boot up one day. Yeah. But right now it runs like a beauty, so I mean, I ain't complaining. But yeah, I got all that out of the way. Had a few more. I had one more topic that I wanted to talk about that I was planning on talking about last week and then push to this week. So I'll just leave that on the back burner until I have 1 week where I don't have much to talk about, and then I can discuss what I've been meaning to discuss. But you know, I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being another one. Thanks for being a #1 fan, Scotty. Excuse me for that. And I hope you all have a great night, a great day, a great week, whatever. Talk to you all later.